There are boys who play football, and then there are those rare few who carry a destiny that even the world itself struggles to understand. Before Europe called his name and before stadiums echoed in awe, there was a young kid in Rio de Janeiro running through the heat-soaked streets with barefoot dreams and a ball that felt like an extension of his heartbeat. His name was Andrey Santos, the quiet warrior from Brazil's beating soul. He didn't come from golden gates, designer bags, or a silver spoon childhood. His life began in the chaos and rhythm of Brazil's concrete jungles, where music hits loud, life hits harder, and dreams don't ask permission. They demand persistence. For many kids in Rio, football is more than a game. It's a lifeline. And for Andrey, it was also a promise. A promise whispered by faith, by family, by a destiny written long before the lights ever found him. He was never loud, never arrogant. He was focused. The kind of focus born only from hunger, not for fame, but for freedom. He trained when the sun rose and kept going when it fell. When other kids complained about tired legs, Andrey prayed for more strength. When they talked about talent, he talked about purpose. His talent wasn't just raw, it was resolute. At Vasco da Gama's youth academy, they saw it immediately. Elegance in possession, intelligence beyond his years. A midfielder who didn't just play football, he dictated it. Calm, controlled, commanding, rare qualities in a teenager, even rarer in a world that rushes everything. Coaches said he played with the poise of a man twice his age. His first professional match? Not just a debut, a declaration. A star wasn't arriving, he was awakening. And Brazil watched, scouts whispered, European clubs circled, but Andrey never got lost in the noise, because he had something grounding him stronger than contracts or headlines: faith. In quiet moments, he whispered prayers. In victories, he lifted his eyes. In doubt, he leaned on scripture. His success didn't inflate him, it humbled him. Then came the moment that changed his world forever. The call from Chelsea Football Club. From the beaches of Rio to the billion-dollar blue empire of London, a leap most dream of but few survive. When he signed that contract, he didn't just secure his future. He rewrote his family's story. Hardship turned into hope, struggle into stability. What once felt impossible now lived in the warmth of reality. His move wasn't easy, nor was it meant to be. English football hits like thunder. It demands more than talent. It needs discipline, resilience, humility. Andrey had all three. But destiny, like gold, must be tested in fire. Loans came, challenges came, and critics spoke. Yet not once did his belief break. While others rushed to judgment, Andrey stayed patient, because his path was never about proving doubters wrong. It was about proving God right. Away from the pitch, life transformed. The boy from Rio now walked through the streets of London wearing quiet confidence and clean elegance. Tailored jackets, subtle luxury watches, understated designer sneakers, never flashy, always refined. Money didn't change him. It simply amplified who he already was, a young man with discipline, faith, loyalty, and vision. He still calls home often, still laughs with childhood friends, still honors his roots. He sees luxury as a blessing, not identity. He celebrates success, but lives with humility. And when he visits Brazil, he walks the same streets with pride, because he didn't escape his origin. He elevated from it. His lifestyle today? A blend of global ambition and grounded spirituality. Modern apartments with skyline views, exclusive gym sessions, quiet dinners instead of loud nights out, private travel when needed, but always a message in his heart. Talent may open the door, but character keeps you inside. And Andrey Santos's character is wealth on its own. Every morning as he ties his boots, he plays not only for trophies or headlines, but for the family who believed in him when he had nothing but dreams for Brazil, whose rhythm still beats in his veins, and for the faith that carried him when the world expected him to stumble. From riding buses in Rio to training on world-class pitches, from playing barefoot to wearing the royal blue of Chelsea, his journey is not just football, it's testimony. And if you listen closely, you can hear it. The calm before greatness, the humility before history, the rise not just of a player, but of a leader. Because Andrey Santos isn't here to be a star, he is here to be a legacy. And legacy doesn't rush. Legacy builds brick by brick. And when people said patience was a lost art in football, Andrey Santos became the contradiction they didn't expect. Because while the world judged him on minutes played, he judged himself on seeds planted. And every seed he watered with discipline, every sacrifice he made in silence, every late-night gym session, and early morning prayer. It was all preparing him for a life bigger than anything he once dreamed in Rio. London didn't just shape him as a footballer, it tested him as a man. There are nights when a young player questions everything, when the stadium roars for someone else, when critics tweet louder than family prayers, when pressure wraps around the chest like iron. But pressure doesn't break diamonds, it shapes them. And Santos is Brazil's diamond being molded by time, faith, and the furnace of European football. Away from the noise, life became a picture of balance: football, faith, family, and quiet luxury. His London home sits in the calm heart of the city, where sophistication whispers instead of shouting. Floor-to-ceiling windows, soft cream interiors, warm lights reflecting against city glass, a space designed not for spectacle, but for focus. The kind of home where a man sits with his Bible before he touches his boots. The kind of home where a dream can breathe. His taste? Elegant minimalism. No flashy chains or neon cars chasing attention. Instead, a subtle collection. A Range Rover Vogue, because comfort is earned. A Mercedes-Benz AMG, because excellence recognizes excellence. A wardrobe blending Brazilian warmth with European precision. Prada coats on winter mornings, off-white sneakers on travel days, tailored fits for club events, Rolex date just resting quietly on his wrist, luxury not as noise, but as gratitude. Yet for all the success, the brightest jewel in his life isn't material, it's love. A strong partner beside him, a relationship built not for headlines but for heart. A love grounded in shared humility, in faith, in building rather than flaunting. She saw him when he was still becoming, and he honors that, because loyalty is his language and gratitude is his compass. They travel when training rests, but not to chase paparazzi flash. Instead, they seek peace. Maldives sunsets reflecting on calm water. Paris evenings near the Seine, where love feels like scripture. Cape Town horizons, where oceans meet mountains like destiny meeting preparation. Dubai nights watching the skyline blink like stars remembering their duty. But in every city, one truth follows him. Fame is temporary. Character is eternal. Andrey's generosity whispers through quiet acts. Family supported back home, childhood friends never forgotten, youth academies receiving surprise visits, kids on Brazilian fields watching him like a mirror of what they can become. He knows what it means to come from walls that echo with struggle. So every blessing he receives becomes a blessing he gives. And the world has started to feel it. That aura. That energy only future legends carry. Brazil's national colors hugging his chest like destiny. The same shirt once worn by giants with samba in their soul and fire in their feet. When he steps onto the pitch for Brazil, it isn't just a call-up. It's prophecy unfolding. Midfield authority. Composure like still water. Shoulders relaxed like the game bends to his timing. He isn't trying to be Casemiro. He isn't trying to be Fernandinho. He isn't trying to be a version of anyone. He is Andrey Santos, a new chapter in Brazilian elegance, a modern holding midfielder who guards, guides, and grows the game. They say stars shine, legends illuminate. And there are moments, quiet ones between whistles, where you see it. the captain in him, the leader forming, the future commander of midfield battles under stadium lights that once felt impossibly far from Rio's concrete dreams. His net worth? Rising fast. Transfer value growing like faith-fueled ambition. Brand deals waiting. Nike partnerships aligning. A financial ascension built not on hype, but on inevitability. Investments made wisely. Family secured. Future children destined to live with doors open instead of locked by circumstance. But the man at the center of it, the boy who prayed on dirt fields, remains untouched by arrogance. He still whispers thank you more times than anyone hears. He still sends strength back home. He still sees football as a calling, not entitlement. He still walks like he remembers what it felt like before the world knew his name. If you ever see him early at training, first one in, headphones on, head bowed, you'd understand why he will succeed. He prepares like someone who knows God doesn't waste discipline. He plays like someone who knows patience isn't delay, it's divine timing. One day soon, when the world calls him world-class, when trophies lift beneath his palms, when children wear his name and adults chant it like gospel, everyone will say they saw it coming. But that won't be true. Only his family saw it when he was nobody. Only he believed it when his minutes were scarce. Only God knew it when the world doubted. And when the Premier League roars for him, when Stamford Bridge rises to its feet and chants his name like a heartbeat echoing through blue walls, he will smile, not because he has arrived, but because he never stopped believing. Greatness doesn't rush. It roots. It grows. It waits for its appointed hour. Andrey Santos's life is not just a story, it's a scripture in motion. A reminder that faith without fear is power. Humility without weakness is strength, and destiny without doubt is purpose fulfilled. Because Brazil didn't just send a footballer to Europe, they sent a promise that the world will soon see unfolding in real time, the rise of a king built in silence, crowned in patience, and destined for glory. And when his chapter closes, the game will remember not only the tackles, the passes, the command of midfield, or the trophies glittering under bright lights. It will remember the boy who prayed, the man who stayed humble, the leader who rose with grace, and the legend who never forgot where he came from. And that is legacy. Fade out. Outro music swells, a prayer whispered, a boot laced, a spotlight waiting. The world will speak his name, Andrey Santos. They say every generation has a moment. A player who isn't just talented, but timed. Someone whose arrival feels less like coincidence and more like orchestration. And as seasons turn, as critics quiet, as patience blooms into power, football begins to realize what Brazil always knew. The story of Andrey Santos was never about being good early. It was about being great eventually. Because greatness isn't born under instant applause. It grows in silence. Inside locker rooms lit only by midnight cleaning lights, on lonely fields where breath hits cold air, in prayers whispered between doubt and destiny. And as the world speeds forward chasing moments, Andrey walks his timeline with grace, slow, steady, certain, because destiny never shows up late. It shows up prepared. There comes a time in every player's life when pressure turns into presence. When the game stops being fast and starts feeling clear, when noise fades and instinct speaks louder, that's when a boy becomes a general, when a midfielder stops chasing play and begins orchestrating it. There is a version of Andrey Santos emerging now, sharper, calmer, stronger. Not the young prospect Europe waited to see, but the man Europe is beginning to fear. In training grounds, the whispers are changing. Teammates who once encouraged him now lean on him. Staff who once guided him now trust him. The rhythm of the club shifts in small ways, not loudly but meaningfully, because leadership is rarely announced. It is recognized. It reveals itself in character before highlights, in accountability before celebration, in consistency before viral clips. Football is unpredictable, but character is not. And Andrey's character belongs to athletes designed by faith, not fame. To those rare ones who rise without stepping on others, who seek light without blinding the room, who lift trophies without forgetting who lifted them first. Parents who sacrificed, coaches who believed, God who prepared the journey before the boots ever touched grass. His future reads like a prophecy. Premier League nights where the pitch becomes his canvas and passes paint poetry. Champions League battles where the anthem feels like a promise and midfield duels turn into sermons of discipline and desire. Brazil wearing gold again, not because of nostalgia, but because a new conductor leads their rhythm, one forged in Rio hunger and polished in English fire. And success won't change him. It will reveal him further. Villas on the cliffs of Rio overlooking oceans that once carried childhood prayers. A family estate where laughter echoes, where future children run barefoot through manicured gardens, where his parents sit on terraces, smiling at a life their sacrifices built. Quiet luxury, not loud wealth. Legacy wealth, not fleeting fortune. Private jets for international breaks, but church on Sundays. Sponsorship dinners in Milan, but family dinners in Rio. Brand deals that chase him, yet humility that keeps him grounded. Cars in the garage, maybe a Ferrari, maybe a Bentley, not as status symbols, but as pages in a story a young boy once dreamed inside a house with humble walls. And perhaps one day, when his career ages like fine leather under the shine of medals and memories, he will walk young kids through the same pitch where he first believed. He will tell them something the world often forgets. Success is not speed. Success is alignment. Not everyone who arrives early wins, but those who arrive prepared endure. Football will see his peak, sharp tackles with grace, passes like scripture, leadership built from quiet devotion. But glory will never own him. He will walk through airports with headphones and a heart that still remembers worship songs sung on bus rides in Brazil. He will celebrate goals with eyes lifted not to crowds but to heaven. Not superstition, gratitude. Not ritual, relationship. And long after statistics fade, after jerseys change, after headlines turn to history, a generation will remember the essence he brought. Control without arrogance, fight without ego, faith without noise. Many will chase numbers, he will chase purpose. And in that pursuit, his story will echo longer than loud talents that burned quick and vanished. The game can create stars. Only time reveals pillars. And Andrey is building not a career, but a foundation. For family, for Brazil, for his faith, for the kid he once was, and the man he is becoming. Someday, years from now, when fields rest under night skies and stadiums sleep, a father may look at his son and say, "If you want to know how to rise without losing yourself, watch how Andrey Santos walked through this world." And that boy, dreaming under dim lamplight with posters on his wall, will see more than a footballer. He will see a blueprint. Because some players chase applause, but some become an example. And that is legacy, not written in goals, but in grace. Not measured by trophies, but by truth. Not earned in noise, but in quiet obedience to a calling greater than glory. The story of Andrey Santos is not finished. It is only unfolding. With every match, every prayer, every moment where faith stands taller than fear, the world moves closer to witnessing a journey not made by chance, but chosen by destiny. One day the lights will shine brightest, the world will chant his name like it was always theirs to say, and every kid from every street in Brazil will know that slow journeys still lead to miracles. And when that moment comes, he won't say, "I made it." He will whisper what he has always known, "God brought me here." Andrey Santos, not just a footballer, a testimony in motion, a legacy rising, a light that refuses to dim.